Welcome to Changes. On this show, we make sure that you smile. It's a lifestyle show that we talk about everything. We have fun, we cry, and we laugh. Today on the show, we have a man who has decided that he will serve God, but not just serving God, but making sure that he does it in a different way, making sure the people that others turn their backs to, he makes sure that they smile. Make sure you follow us on all our social media handles, Joy Prime. This lovely place is a Labadi Beach Hotel. If you're looking for a place to have your event, if you're looking for a place to lay your head, or you're looking for the best food in town, look no further. Just come to Labadi Beach Hotel and they will serve you. My name is Rosalind Felly. Today we have a Queer Memorial Youth Choir right here with us. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, a Queer will take us away. Then I will introduce you to our guest for today. Do stay with us.
Changing, how sweet the name of Jesus sounds in a believer's sing. He soothes his sorrows, heals his wounds, and drives away his fear.
Thank you so much, Equeatre Memorial Youth Choir. That's a beautiful one. My guest for today is seated. His name is Reverend Father Campbell. Hello, Father Campbell.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And thank you for inviting me to your show.
And I'm glad that you made it.
Thank you.
Okay, so Father, today we're going to have a conversation that a lot of people are wondering why you decided to do that. And when I say that, is the charity work that you're doing, the smile you're putting on the faces of people that seems the world have turned their back on, the people with leprosy, the lepers. Father, why did you decide to help the lepers?
Okay, it goes back to the time not long after I came to Ghana. I came to Ghana in 1971. About 2 or 3 years after that, I was working at the Holy Spirit Cathedral. And I was out working, sweeping and cleaning, and then this leper came to see me. I didn't know him. He was carrying a bag of mangoes. And he said, "Father, I want to give you a gift, a bag of mangoes." Now, I never met a leper in my life. I read about him in the Gospels, Jesus curing the lepers, but to meet one personally, no. So I was, he had no fingers and no toes and such as, So I took them and said, "Thank you," and gave them away to the children immediately. But then I said, "That's not right. Let me go and see where they live." So I went out to Waja, and I met all the cured lepers out of Waja, and I was shocked. Their conditions. They were dejected. They were forgotten. They were just thrown there. Families just threw them there and didn't care. They were hungry. They were always... So I said, no, these are the people I want to help. I want to help these people. Bring a smile to their faces. Help them. I mean, I've seen how people have treated them. I remember one particular man, I brought him to hospital in Accra. And the doctor says, "Me take care of a leper? You must be joking." And he didn't take care of that leper. And that leper died that night. And it was weeks later, I met the nurse that was on duty that night. And she said, "Father, the doctor didn't even look at the patient. But he told me to fill in certain things that he did take care of him, but he didn't, and he died. So the leper died, and I was shocked.
What was the doctor's reason for not taking care of that leper?
Afraid. The stigma. That's the biggest problem. When you see these lepers that are, you know, no fingers, or they've no toes, maybe no nose, and such and such. I've seen some with all the sores on them, and they do look awful, that they do. But they're children of God. You can't just throw them aside like that. You know, we don't take care of them. Even to today, the lepers get 1 CD a day to live on. 1 CD. Who can live on 1 CD a day in Ghana in 2021? So I decided, let me take care of them. So I started visiting them, bringing them to hospital in my car, staying with them in the hospital. I mean, I can give you some horrendous stories of, you know, how they were mistreated in a hospital, that people didn't want to go near them. I mean, they didn't want to touch a leper. I can't have a leper on my ward and all sorts. Why? We brought one lady, and she had a leg had to be amputated above the knee. And brought her to the surgeon. The surgeon says, Father, she needs amputation above the knee. Here's our folder. You go and find a ward for her. Me? Find a ward for her. So I did. I went looking for a ward for her. And I went to the nursing sister. Take a leper on this ward? Are you joking, Father? Then she says, okay, let me go and see the surgeon. So she came back and says, okay, we've come to an agreement. Operation will be done from this ward, and a day afterwards, we send her home.
A day after the
A day after, and this was amputation above the knee. On her folder was such and such, wage a leprosarium, next to kin, Father Campbell.
Wow.
So we agreed. We took her for an X-ray. We brought to the X-ray unit, and as soon as they saw the folder, wage a leprosarium, oh, Father, the X-ray unit is broken down. Sorry, come back another time. Everywhere we went, the nurses we took with us ran away, said they were going for their break and never came back. I mean, the way they were treated. And they feel that, because I remember one man in Wage, Mr. Quarte. He was 90, and he was a senior prefect. He was blind. He said, Father, don't take me to hospital when I'm dying. Let me die here in dignity. In dignity. I don't want to be treated like that. Let me die here. Let me die here. And he did. He died there in the leprosarium. He died there. And that day I went to see him and picked out a beautiful up and down from his wardrobe. But the next day he was in a suit. In a suit. In the coffin. I bought the coffin for him. He was in a suit. So I said, where did he get the suit from? I said, hey, Minnie's son in there. And I said, the family had come. The family never came near him when he was out there. Never came near him.
But when he died, they managed to buy a suit.
They went and bought a suit for him. So he was in the coffin, and they were with their cameras, they were taking photographs and all sorts. And there they were, and he was in the coffin in a suit. So I started the church service, and I said, you're all very welcome to church service, and thank you for coming, but it's a pity you had to wait till he died before you saw him. I told them that. They said I insulted them. So after the funeral, I took him in my car, I put the coffin in the back of my car, I brought him up to the cemetery. And then we came back, and then the family had a whole pickup full of drink, all sorts of beer and soft drink and all sorts. They never gave me a drop of water because he said I insulted her. I mean, this is how you treat them. Why treat them like this? They are children of God. And maybe when we die, they'll have a higher place in heaven. So I said, no, I want to spend my life doing this. And something happened last year.
Tell us about it.
Last year, I was admitted to the University of Ghana Medical Center. People thought I had COVID, but I didn't. Thank God I didn't have COVID. But I had a clot on the lung, a pneumonia of the lung.
Okay.
And my blood pressure went down to 70/30.
Wow.
Which is blood pressure of a dead person. but I rose again. The nurses and doctors and the grace of God brought me back to life again. Brought me back to life. And here was I in the ward. You know, I was on a heart machine, oxygen machine, I was on a drip, a catheter, the whole lot. And I was lying there on the second day and I heard a voice. And God said, you haven't finished your work. Go and help the poor. And last year was my 75th, my anniversary of my ordination. And this year, on March the 27th, I was 75, meant I retired from active parish work. So I wouldn't have a parish.
So you don't have a parish anymore?
So the message was, after your parish work, don't go and retire and just go and work for the poor. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm living with them. I'm resident number 30, Wage Lepers. Do you want to know my address? You know something, it's strange. You know, when people introduce me, well, this is Father Campbell, formerly of Christ the King. And I said, no, don't say that. Where am I now? They're afraid to say, Father Campbell, Wage Leprosarium. Why?
And you live there?
I live there. I have a house there. Come and see me in my house. Beautiful house, built by the Common Fund. They built it for me. And they built 2 beautiful blocks for the lepers. All the lepers have a new room each. And they have a clinic and a research centre. The only research centre in West Africa.
Did you help them build that?
No, Common Fund built this
Common
one.
Fund, okay.
So I'm living there. And I'm with them day in and day out to make sure that they are taken care of, bring them to the hospital, make sure they have their drugs, make sure none of them are hungry. All of this. It's my life.
Do you get threats from the family members for helping them?
No, just insults. No threats, no.
And the insults don't let you feel like you're giving up?
No, I've never felt like giving up. No, these are beautiful people. When you get to know them, you love them. You love them because they've been treated. This is what's wrong in the world today. There's not much. There's the hunger for love. People are thrown aside. People, we don't have time for one another. We need more time to share with each other, more time to love one another, more time to not to put people down. You know, it's not who you are now, but what have you got?
What have you got?
It's not who you are, but that's what it should be. Who are you? Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter who you're, rich or poor, white or black, or whatever it is, Catholic or Presbyterian, whatever it is. You are a child of God. And once you know you're a child of God, I always tell them this. In all my work in Accra here in the past 50 years, I've looked after prostitutes. I've looked after people condemned to death into prison. I've looked after the lepers. I've looked at all of these. I've never once condemned any one of them. I've told every one of them, you're a child of God. God loves you. You are special in the eyes of God. You're an image of God. And that passage from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, you are God's work of art.
Yeah, God's work of art. I love that. I want us to watch some videos of yours, or just one video for now. And when we come back, we'll talk more about your charity work. Okay? Do enjoy this video.
Hello, my twin brother, Nilansi, Father Campbell. You're being celebrated. I wonder how many times we will celebrate you. You turned 75. You retired from active work at Christ the King Church. Now you are involved in your passion, which is about the cured lepers. That too had been celebrated when the Vice President came in and inaugurated the center. Now Joy FM Multimedia is celebrating you. As your twin sister, I'm also enjoying it.
Yes.
I just want to encourage you and to say, my twin brother, my senior pastor, and my junior brother, Kakra, I'm wishing you the very best that God has always wanted of you. And I want to thank God for allowing yourself to be used the way God has always wanted to use you. Until your last breath, you're going to be very, very busy in the vineyard of God. And I can assure you that God is going to give you strength.
Amen.
God is going to give you energy. God is going to give you compassion. And God is going to raise for you friends, partners, physical and financial resources for you to show love and compassion to people who are marginalized because of a disease that they didn't bring on themselves.
Changing.
Those are the sweet words.
My twin.
Love your twin.
We're born the same day, the same month, and the same year.
Wow.
Except she's older than I.
Okay.
She was born at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was by for 5 in the evening.
Also, you're twins.
So what
you decided to stay in the womb a bit longer.
But I stayed a bit longer. I kicked her out.
So, Father, now let's talk more about your charity works you're doing. You're telling us about how the society is shunning these lepers. But then we talk about you. What keeps you going? Where do you derive this whole energy from to help these lepers?
You see, I'm a Catholic priest. God has given me the vocation to be that priest, to serve as a missionary priest here in Accra. And where do I get that inspiration? Is from above. I'm not a social worker. I'm not a social worker. I do social things. I help people a lot, yes, but I'm not a social worker. So where do I get my strength? I'm not paid. I'm not paid by anybody. Nobody gives me any pay.
Exactly.
The last time I got paid was when I was, before I joined the seminary, I got paid. That was years ago, 60 years or whatever it was. But where do I get that strength? It's from my prayer. And I think this is important these days. We're rushing around. We're always on our mobile phone. We're always going there, we're going there, we're going meetings. And we don't have time to be quiet. And I spend that hour every morning before the Blessed Sacrament. And I spend that hour in prayer. And I have Holy Mass after that. I have my rosary. I have my Divine Mercy. This is what keeps me going. Because I'm not paid for what I do. I'm not paid. People give me money.
So what gives you joy?
The joy of helping. When you share love, love comes back to you. Love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. Love is not love until you give it away. Give away your love and more love will come. The happiest people today are the people who give.
That's true.
Not the people who have plenty, big cars, big houses. Look at those big houses and big walls around them and big guards on them. And they're not happy. Many of them are not happy. Many of them are not. So what brings you happiness? It's not money. It's not sex. It's not drink. It's not drugs. God. This is where your happiness will come. To be at peace with God. To know God better. And the more you know God, the more you love God, the more He will love you and give you the strength and the courage to do that. That's where I get my strength from.
That's nice to hear, Father. Now let's talk a bit about your charity, not for just the people living with leprosy, but even you talking about being with prostitutes, being with criminals. I mean, when we hear about this, the question is, why will you decide to support prostitutes, help them? Let me put it like that. Or why will you decide to help criminals? Because people are wondering, why them?
I took a man from James Forth prison every week in my car, a young man of 18. I took him every week. He had all sorts of pellets in his leg. And this was going back to the 1980s. And I took him every week to get those pellets out of his leg. He was under guard. There was a guard in the car with his gun, and he was handcuffed. And I took him every week to Kolibu. And the nursing sister stopped me and he said, "Father, what's so important with this young man here?" I said, "He's a child of God, and I'm helping him." Everybody is a child, no matter who you are. Concerning the prostitutes, yes, I sit down with them. I don't agree with what they do. But I sit down with them, I talk to them, I pray with them. The times they've asked me for confession. You know, I sit with them. They're children of God. And I'm not there to judge them. I'm not there to tell them you're leading a dirty life of change. I tell them, you know, and they'll come and, Father, pray with me, so that we'll be able to. And at times,
do they change when you speak?
Some of them have changed. We've got them work. I've put them through school. I've put them through catering schools. Now they're doing catering. I got them off the road. Yes, I did. Thank God I did that. And they tell me, Father, you know, our working hours are about 9 o'clock at night time till about 4 in the morning. You're supposed to say, you know, your working hours, yeah. Working hours 9 to 4. And then after that we go home and we have our bath and then we go to church. Now, who am I to say don't go to church? I'm not going to say that. They go to church. So there was one time I was there Saturday night, and then the next morning after Mass I was greeting everybody, and 2 beautiful young ladies stood beside me. Hi, Father. I said, hi. I said, do you not know me, Father? I said, you met us last night, you know. So I said, yeah, they came to church. I mean, that's the beginning. Did Christ, did he shun the prostitutes, the lepers? Did he do that? Everybody is a child of God. Everybody has dignity. Don't look down on anybody, no matter who you are. No matter who you are, don't look down. The same too with those in prison. I was in Usherford and Jamesford prison for over 15 years, going there every week through the hard times. We brought them food during the times, difficult times in the 80s. We brought them food every week. We cooked. My church in Sacred Heart Parish cooked rice and beans and fish. I brought them, and every one of those got a plate of food each. Every one of them. And then I prepared those for the firing squad. I remember one Easter Sunday being in a small cell with one of those for the firing squad, and he cried. I prayed with him, I had confession with him, I gave him encouragement. That's what I'm there. That's my work. My work is as a man of God, to give hope to people, to give hope. Don't give up.
Has he gone through the firing squad already?
Yeah.
Is he gone?
They went the following few days. They went. But I remember one time I got this suicide note, and I always remember. I never got a suicide note on my phone before. Never. And I was sitting in my room at night time, around 10 o'clock at night time. And this text comes, suicide note. And the reasons why she was committing suicide. Problems with boyfriend, her work, and this, that, and the other. So I phoned her and asked her. She started talking to me and telling me all the problems and such. I said, anyway, she said, this note wasn't for you. This was for my friend in Kumasi. And she was to tell her mother why she was taking her life. So I started talking to her. I started counseling her. Then she put the phone down. I said, oh my goodness, what do I do? But in a few moments she rang later and she said, Father, can I come and see you? So she came. And we talked and we prayed for her. She was a Catholic. So she wanted confession and we talked and prayed. Then she left. I gave her hope. Don't give up, I said. You know, the greatest tool of the devil is discouragement. The greatest sin in the world. You know, I asked kids one day, I was teaching them catechism and said, what's the greatest sin in the world? Oh, Father, it's murder. Oh, Father, it's abortion. I said, no. The greatest sin is despair. So I told this girl, don't give up. She went away and continued. And then she came back 2 years later with a beautiful baby. Oh. And she says, I'm found my man. We got married. This is my baby. Father, will you baptize my baby? And he called her Benedict after the Pope. You know, I was happy. I gave her hope. This is my work. As a priest, I'm representing Christ. And what was Christ's work? Bringing hope to people. Don't give up. Don't give up. Because I can remember, you know.
Father, you know what I want to do?
Yes.
You telling us not to give up, I want us to watch this video.
Changing.
I am Mr. Bonko. I'm a resident of Wija Okusiri. And we are staying together with Father Campbell. Immediately he gone on a pension. He said he want to stay with us at Lepers. So he came here. We thought he's somebody that will be, when we see him, will be afraid of him or something, but he's so liberal. When you get closer to him, whatsoever, whether you are old or young, if you come to him with your problem, oh, he will listen to you. But what he hates is he wanted everything he's doing now, anybody that is working with him will be truthful with him. That is what I learned about him. But he has done so many things in Ghana. If you see the way he's taking care of us, even if you have not come to Lepers, try and come, because the place we are now is like we are it's heaven on earth, and we say we have prepared a beautiful place for us, an accommodation, everybody waiting room, bed, mattresses, so many things, and he takes care of us. Our hospital bills, light bills, water bills, so many things, and we have food every Monday. He shares food for us, and we are praying that whatsoever thing you wanted to do for us here, let God give him long life, and he will stay with us to bless us as he is doing always.
Changing.
John.
You feed them every Monday.
Yeah, we give them a big bucket of food every Monday. We give them money and we give them food. And then somebody came last week and said, Father, I want to give you eggs every month.
That's another one I want us to watch as well.
I am the
mercy.
Because Emma may I need a swing in Ireland, as Emma may buy wage a hand. Father, I find you now to say, the money or pay, and so every Monday on my scar or my identity, the area or trade free. So am I yes, so I always am, and yet, oh, and ya, Eddie, my say, oh, Benna, yeah, first name say, yeah, you'll be a but Ninian or Shayen, what finding us sending money or buying chain or near the bonkomo. So, you're done, I say, oh, near why yet, Eddie, my.
Remember, so, Yamiani, send them seeing what one say, and I'm a Breno. Breno Swati, Amame. I feel so, it means a balance for me. The sunset, now what you be, I know, or me at Biane. Omi aduane mo ne ma nema bibida nwanom ne seminar no asara ma ye sika kra de ka wode toto makoni adnade nti ayeye ne aseda na mrema mafara ane aboafo mo boafara na sister Vic and sister Esther omo nyina eka sa aseda de amene mafara ye ho. What is a dance here? Now, a father more boy. Maybe I'm Gaza. Now, the market, if you America, so many bono. On one of the moments come and cut away. The me father yet. The uncle point Shirano. And I'm opening point as I say.
Changing.
Father, these are the people you are helping. And every single one of them does mention that you feed them.
I want to give them a hot meal every day now. When we move over to the new rooms, a new building, have beautiful rooms, new bed, new mattress, all that beautiful place. And I want to give them a hot meal every day. That's what, I don't have the money for it.
I was going to ask you, how do you plan on financing that?
I asked God to send me some people to help me. Like this woman who came just 2 weeks ago, she brought me 30 crates of eggs and said every month she'll give me 30 crates of eggs. It's donations I get from people who come and give me money, and then I hope you know that through the my book, the Lepers Aid, the Lapis Priests, I hope you know I'll get money from that to help me to support.
Let's talk a little bit about the book, the Lapis Priests. I want to show it to the camera here. Yes.
Yes.
So this is the book Father Campbell has written. It's the Lapis Priests. And it's a book that it's going to come out very soon. But tell us a bit about it, Father.
It's written by a lady called Maria Marciana Kusana. She is a history lecturer at KNUST. And she came to me over a year ago and said, Father, to
So you
commemorate.
didn't write it yourself?
I didn't know.
Okay.
And when she came, she said, I want to commemorate your 50th anniversary in Ghana. You know, the day, actually, I arrived on the 13th of October, 1971 at Tema Harbour.
Wow.
I arrived. And so she wanted to write this book. So she interviewed me and others. And so I'm going to launch this book on the 17th of December at Christ the King Parish Hall at 6 p.m. in the evening. So with the proceeds we get from this book, I hope to be able to continue my work of taking care. For instance, feeding these lepers every day, giving them something to eat every day, have a hot meal. Because some of them can't cook. They have no fingers. They can't, I don't know how they manage. They depend on some others to come and give them food. They can't cook. They can't cook. So how do you expect them to eat? You know, that. So I'm hoping that on this, you know, through the proceeds from this book, that people will come. The 17th is a Friday evening, 6 o'clock, that people will come and support me. The Lepers Priests. My priest called me the Lepers Priest. That's where the title comes. My priest, they come and say, "Hey, Father, here's the Lepers Priest. Here's the Lepers Priest." They tease me.
How do you feel when they call you that?
I smile and laugh at it.
It gives you joy.
It doesn't worry me the least at all.
It gives you so much.
You know, so I'm just happy to be, because I know when I go meet God, they'll be there and they'll welcome me, say, come. This is our priest.
That's so nice to hear, Father. We want to say thank you for this. I mean, you are definitely looking at the faces of people that others have turned their backs to. For you to say you have decided to spend the rest of your life with them till you take your last breath, that is touching. That's something that it's rare to hear. And we are very, very,
it's a call
very
from God.
grateful.
God has called me, and how can I refuse God? He brought me back from the dead. I mean, I was dead. I had the blood pressure of a dead person. And yet, God raised me. And thanks to the wonderful nurses and doctors at UGMC, you know, I am here today. And I see myself as a miracle priest, that I'm able to walk around and do my work with these people. So I just thank God, and I want to do what God wants me to do, and pray to have that health and strength.
Okay, on that note, we want to say thank you so much, Reverend Father Campbell, for being here. But we know you love chocolate. Do you? You do? You love chocolate?
Do I love chocolate?
Yes, you love chocolate.
That's one of my weaknesses.
And I heard you love wine as well.
I don't know where you heard that from.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about it?
No, I haven't. No.
You haven't had it in a while?
I've never taken alcohol in my life.
Non-alcoholic wine.
Oh, non-alcoholic is fine.
You love
alcohol, I've never taken
No,
alcohol.
I mean non-alcoholic wine.
Oh,
we heard you love non-alcoholic wine.
I do.
And we heard you love chocolate.
Yes, I love
So Reverend
chocolate.
Father Campbell, we
Yes.
have chocolate in the building.
Chocolate.
Yay!
I'll share this with all my people out in Wager. They'll all be.
So this is chocolate and non-alcoholic wine for you.
Good. We'll enjoy that.
You always put smiles on the faces of people. It's time for you to smile as well. So when you eat this chocolate,
Thank you very
smile
much.
for us, Reverend Father Campbell.
I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure and an honor to be with you, to share with you what God has done for me. Everything is from a man above. I'm just a pencil in God's hand. Just a pencil. I just do what God wants me to do. And I'm happy to do it. I'm happy, and I thank God for it. And thank you for inviting me to share what God has done for me. God bless you.
God bless you too, Reverend Father Campbell. You know, some of the choir members are actually from your church, Christ, former church, Christ the King, and they are here. And we are taking another song from them. So the choir, Equiature Memorial Youth Choir, will take us away, serenade us to another great tune.
Jesus shall reign wherever thy song, that his successive journey strong, his kingdom stretched
That was a beautiful one from Irish-Ghanaian Memorial Youth Choir. We'll take a quick break.
Changing.
It's time for us to hit the streets and ask the people what they think about rent. Now, this question pops up every time we talk about rent. How many months or how many years does one have to pay a landlord? Well, what does the law say about it? Let's take a look.
Me put the Nancy and me betting say, yes, you bet we have to have 54 months, this 6 months, they are called.
Rent, dear, to see, I know, Bibia boy, ding. Bibia boy, ding, no, I will sit down, say, I will sit down, Bibia expensive. Into who sit down as I would the dining berrenty. Now, Beji, sir, amount, Ubeji 3 months, since 4 months. Me cry to me, say, I'm messing if you are 1 year, Graminji.
Minimum, sir, or my name is 6 months.
Say, 1 year is okay.
Rent a house at least 6 months. Or if the landlord didn't want to accept, you can pay for 1 year. But 2 years, 3 years, I don't think it's fair.
I guess we should pay 6 months. Probably 6 months will be the best idea for us to pay. Looking at the kind of economy we have as business people, going to pay 5 years or 3 years. So for people like us, when we are renting, they take from 2 years, 3 and 5. But I would love the shop owners, especially, to consider a year from the beginning. Why? Because looking at the way the economy is going and how things have become difficult, raising that amount of money, like especially the down shop like this, can I disclose? We are paying more than 50,000 for 5 years because it's a down shop. The top shops are paying 50,000 for 5 years, but because the down shop is more expensive. So looking at a person like me, a young guy like me, raising that amount of money, like I just said, but trying to raise that money, Charlie.
How many months advance do you have to pay? The law says that you can pay only 6 months advance. That is what is required from you. Your landlord may ask for 2 years, but that is an offense. It is against the Rent Act to pay more than 6 months rent advance. The law says that you should pay 6 months rent advance. However, if you agree with your landlord to pay for more than 6 months, that is an agreement between you and your landlord. But the law says that you are required to pay only 6 months rent advance. That is what the law says. If your landlord refuses to give you the property because you are not able to pay for 6 months advance, you can report that person, because it's against the law to charge more than 6 months rent advance. I hope you have learned something about rent advance today. My name is Lawyer Richard Kojo Aban. Thank you very much.
And a very big thank you to our very own Lawyer Richard Kojo Aban, who has been here to give us the advice that we need. It's been an interesting show. I've had fun. I've learned a lot. I know you at home, you've done the same. It's time for us to jive with the Irish-Ghanaian Memorial Youth Choir. Hello. If somebody wants to book you, what's the number for the person?
Okay, our number is 054 209 5537. 054-209-5537.
Ladies and gentlemen, their name is Irish-Ghanaian Memorial Youth Choir. Make sure that you follow us on all our social media handles. My name is Rosalind Felly. This lovely place is Labadi Beach Hotel. If you're looking for a place to lay your head, to eat, and to have an event, look no further. Just come here and have some great fun. They will not disappoint you. Until we come again, we'll say Irish-Ghanaian Memorial Youth Choir should take us away. Enjoy the rest of your day, but don't tune out yet because there's more for you.